Good afternoon, everybody. Wanted to start out today, one of the first time that I've gotten a chance to talk with you since everything that's gone on this week. Just want to express, my and our organizational sadness for those affected by the devastating fires in Los Angeles. You feel helpless watching it from here and know how many people are being impacted. Definitely, Southern California holds I hold near and dear to my heart, and have some friends that have lost homes, and you just think about the impact it has on so many folks. So our prayers are with all those impacted, and definitely with the brave first responders that are putting their lives on the line and working 24-hour shifts to try to help put this thing to end, which is on all of our minds as we watch some of those things from afar. Regarding the location of the game, I know the NFL put out a statement. I defer to the league on all those things, and trust in our staff here that works with the league, and knowing the good folks with the Rams that Monday night's game will be, I know it's going to be played, and we'll just be going to play the football game regardless of where our plane lands. But we obviously need to just focus on our preparation for a really talented Los Angeles Rams football team. Wanted to let you guys know we will be opening up Taki's window today. He'll be back on the practice field with us today, so excited about that.
Kevin, has anything changed from the football operation standpoint depending on where the game is played?
No, I mean we're the road team, so it's pretty much there's a lot of really talented people both in our building and with the league office that help coordinate these things in times like this. So we're very fortunate to be able to just focus on playing a football game as the road team. It's just a matter of where we're headed.
And have you guys gotten any sense yet of when the league will make a decision on where the game will be played?
Yeah, it really, to me, it's just a matter of logistics that are out of my hands. So we're, like I said, it's there's a lot of really smart people and people that will make that decision, and we'll just go play the game wherever it's going to be, and obviously all of that is centered around some pretty deep concern for the folks both personally that I know. Just everybody impacted for sure.
Were you watching the first game? It was pretty notable that both you and Sean are very good at getting people open in the red zone. Was that a point of emphasis when you're working with him?
We just, across the whole game plan, I think, I learned so many things from Sean, but just the idea of doing whatever you can to help your players get open and make it as easy as possible for the quarterback, and centered around a focus about those guys up front that have a really hard job to do, snap in and snap out in the protection phase. And but yeah, it's always important to us, and it's something that we've been pretty consistent at for most of the season, and unfortunately didn't do a very good job at all. Started with me last weekend, so we're definitely using our full week of prep to make sure across our whole game plan we're giving our players the best possible plan we can.
Kevin, has Daniel progressed to a point where you could see him being active as perhaps more than just the emergency third option?
He definitely has progressed. He's gotten a lot of really good work in, both running scout team looks and then just extra work here and there when we can with Josh and really and Nick and Brett as well. I was really happy to get Brett back. He's somebody that I think's done a phenomenal job all season long, and has a really, really bright future. So we're really fired up to get him back. And it's kind of, the best way I could put it is we're doing everything we can to get Sam ready to go, but at the same time, whether it's, Nick or Daniel or Brett now, all those guys are absorbing the game plan like always, and it's such a fluid thing here for the rest of the way. We're going to do whatever we think gives us the best chance to win.
What's the biggest difference
There's a chance
in the
that
way
he could be the number 2 quarterback?
We're going to do whatever gives us the best chance to win here the rest of the way, Kev.
When you put a guy like Britt, who has as much knowledge in this scheme this year on, is that a tough decision to do that, considering just how much he does know about what you guys do.
Yeah, for sure. The rules are a little different as far as this time of year versus even last week. Had that move happen then, so you're still crossing your fingers knowing you're exposing a good player with, like you said, not only knowledge of our system, but somebody who we're just excited about, that we've poured a lot of time and energy into, brought him here for a reason, and he's exceeded all the expectations here despite, I know people haven't seen him on the grass, doing anything during the regular season, but there's been so much work and time and energy spent from Brett with, Grant and Josh to continue his progression. That individual approach to that room for all those guys is a huge part of why we do what we do in this building. And he's definitely, from my vision point, he's benefited from it and shown that, he's a guy we could rely on here in the future with the type of work he's put in.
Kevin, with the earlier game against the Rams, what do you like about Sam's game in that game and that you'd like to replicate?
Yeah, I think we got off to a good start in the game. It's a very talented front, a lot of energy. They're a younger group, but maybe as impactful as any front over the second half of the football season for sure. When you go back and watch them week in and week out, I think Chris Shula does a really good job. So we know they're going to be doing things to try to take away some of the inventory that we put on tape over the course of the season. But I thought Sam, like I said, got off to a really good start in the game. We had a little bit of, had some pre-snap issues with, for a variety of reasons, that created a little bit of a pause and a lull in our flow, and they were able to capitalize and, defensively had some chances to get off the field in the second quarter that would have maybe gave us an opportunity. I think there was 2 or 3 penalties on one long drive, and they were able to kind of put us in a position where after losing CD, we were, up against it a little bit, but no excuse. They beat us and won the football game. We got to go try to play a little bit better, more consistent for longer and see what that looks like.
How would you say Sam's been the last few days in terms of understanding what went wrong in Detroit and kind of also moving past that, both fixing whatever went wrong and also the mental part of it?
Yeah, I think Sam's been great. Off to a really good start this week. I think it's easy to just, and I for sure respect the question on Sam, but I think it's our whole team. We wanted to win last week, and we put. We tried to put a lot into winning that football game, knowing it was a pretty much unique one-of-one type of game with the two teams playing. So all of us needed to make sure we had the reflection. Mostly, I would say I start with me, but our entire operation needed to have a reflection and a time period where we acknowledged what happened. We tried to identify the things we absolutely need to fix, and that's individual players like Sam and many, many others, and that's coaches. Like I said, starts with me. So I think, there came a point in time where, that got put to bed and we're moving forward and we're well into that phase now, and a lot of energy in the building, a lot of enthusiasm. We know it's, game one of a second season. Today we got some good work yesterday, but today I really look at it as practice number 1 of the second season. I don't look at it as practice number, however many it truly is, and that's the feeling our guys have, because we're going to need this time of year every minute, every second, every time you get an opportunity to practice anything, technique, fundamentals in an individual period, team periods, special teams periods, it all matters, because this is from here on out, and like we have been for a few weeks now, but we're playing a really good football team on the road, and we got to play really good football to win the game as a team, and that does include Sam.
Kevin, how much can you draw from that Super Bowl run with the Rams? You mentioned it after the game. You lost the season finale of that game and then came out hot in the wild card round. Can you draw from those things as you head into this week?
Yeah, I think so. I just remember we didn't get the result we wanted in that last game, and we were able to, in many ways do what we're attempting to do this week from a standpoint of acknowledging how it happened, acknowledging how we need to improve. The late season improvement sometimes is just about consistency. It's about doing some of the things that you think back over the season we did really well. We got to make sure we find a way to do a lot of those things in a single elimination tournament to give yourself the best chance to win a game. So and then it's about momentum from there. In a game, in a quarter, starting the game the way you want to start, responding to adversity. A lot of the things that we've had to do all season long, you're just going to need to extract all that and put it into one game and make sure that, your team's ready to go. So, and then from there, there's 1,000 little things that go on in a game. I've told you guys before, I can think back to 7 to 10 plays throughout the course of that run where if one of those go differently, who knows?
Can you quantify how valuable playoff experience is? I mean, in your locker room, it's a wide range of that.
I think you probably can. I just think it's a matter of continuing to emphasize the things that we've emphasized all season long. I know it's something that sometimes people do chalk up as a cliche, but when you're built on the mentality of winning one game every single week and what that looks like in a daily, hourly process leading into it, we have experience doing that throughout the season. We also have the experience that we talked about of the environment the other night. It felt like a playoff environment against a really good football team on the road, and that's been part of the process post-game here from last week that I think we can pull out of that experience in a way that we apply it immediately to our next opportunity, expecting a lot of the same similar things: tough environment, atmosphere, a really good team, really good offense, really good defense, and a team that if you don't play well, they're going to beat you. So we've got experience having that not go our way very recently. And what are we going to do about it as a team to make sure we go play, the kind of game we want to play in a game like this?
You spent so much of your life in Southern California, so I'm sure you've seen wildfires happen.
Yeah.
Times, but is this one, I guess,
different,
hit on a different level?
Yeah, and every a couple times, when I was very young, and then had my last game in college got postponed around the time that the Chargers-Dolphins game got moved to Phoenix, and just the impact that this has on people. And it's not, the worst aspect of it are the folks that, for starting off, the lives that have been lost. And then you think about people that lose a lifetime of memories and things that, and a home that they've, in many cases, built their families. But there's also a lot of people who have been, evacuated that are trying to, basically, make sense of all this during this time. So there's just so many people impacted. And then you think about these heroes in my mind who are out, with, whether it's wind or circumstance that of fighting this fire, that you think about just the adversity they're up against and how much, sacrifice there is there. It's just, this one does feel different though. And like you said, it's something you experience in Southern California based on the time of the year when these winds kick up and it's dry. So every single time, there's never one of these where I hear about it and it seems like a small thing that, there's just another one. They're all so impactful, based on my experiences.
You're trying to win a football game against him this week, but have you talked with Sean at all about just kind of what he's going through, trying to keep his team focused?
Yeah, I connected with him kind of early on just because, I know, about where he lives, and and a lot of those guys, that I had relationships with live, the area we're talking about, there's a lot of people in a very small kind of square mile radius around that whole area. So you just never know who's being impacted. Like I said, I've had some dialogue with folks that lost everything, and there's really no words you can say other than you're thinking about them, praying for them, and just hoping that things start to turn here.
Kevin, just working with Sam throughout this entire season, kind of on a daily basis, what can you say about his personality that you've learned through this journey that maybe you didn't know when he first got here, or that's kind of shown itself as you've gone along?
Yeah, I think he's got a level of mental toughness to just be consistent about his routine, understanding that there's really nothing Sam's doing differently from a where I am, what I'm doing standpoint throughout the week, but the mental toughness to apply some hard coaching or apply some personal responsibility for things that maybe didn't go his way in one game. But you look at the sample size of his whole season, Sam Darnold's a huge reason why we won 14 games, and his teammates know that, we know it, and that's the mental toughness of it is also acknowledging the confidence he should have to put together another great week of preparation and go play. And it's not that I didn't know that that would be there, but I think the way he's handled success this year has been impressive. The way he's handled adversity and then immediately respond and take us on, another 4+ win streak. And that's because of the consistency at that position. It's so important to your whole team when you pair it with a defense we're really proud of and an offense we're proud of and a special teams group that's been very impactful all season long. It puts you in a pretty good position to just move on and try to win a game with a lot of the things that got you here.
How much better prepared do you feel like this defense is to handle Puka this time around?
Yeah, I mean, that's the Thursday game. It's always a tight turnaround, but then, when there's players in that window, potentially that, in that case, he hadn't even had his window opened up until, maybe right around the time we were getting on the plane to head out there. So you build plans, and I thought the guys did a great job trying to adjust. But it's much more comforting, it sounds silly to say, but much more comforting knowing the challenges with a little bit of time and some brain power in our defensive staff room that's second to none. I know they're going to come up with a good plan, empower the players, and then those guys step in between the white lines, and they know the challenge it's going to be against Matthew Stafford, Puka, Cooper, the Kyron. This is a really good offense, and we're excited about the opportunity to compete, but we know it's going to be a challenge. Thank you.